Okay, so welcome back. Today we're going to continue the practice from our last session. And in the last session, essentially what we did was we tried to allow our attention to rest, in essence, allow our spotlight that is constantly outward going um, to some people may see it as sort of you turn it back onto itself. I have a physical sense of it as if when my attention is focused on something, that there's this outward sort of energy projection, and I allow that attention to rest. And for me, it feels as if it's a bit of a almost as if I'm reclining in a recliner, like I'm going back and down. Like there's this sort of resting of my attention that I can feel goes out. But when I rest in awareness itself, that my attention sort of drops back and down. And that might be the same for you. It might not be. I just tell you what my experience of it is. And in essence, to keep in mind that there is this sort of differentiation that we're placing on it of objects of attention, sort of what you're focusing your attention on, whether it's thoughts, emotions, perceptions, beliefs, sensations, whatever it might be, and what is aware of thoughts, emotions, perceptions, beliefs, etc. But it's a same energy. So even though we kind of talk about this differentiation, it's the same energy. The analogy would be a wave appearing out of the ocean. You see the wave, but the wave is really created from the ocean itself. And so all objects of attention are actually, they are emerging from awareness. Okay. So there's this emergence, and then our attention goes and sort of focuses on it because it's become an individual entity, let's say. But it emerges from awareness. So some people have asked, for instance, what is your definition of creativity, of whatever it might be? It's really resting in awareness and allowing from that space of anything to manifest that it may manifest. Or from that space, that's the space then that consciously we can use a bit of energy to say, oh, what would I like to manifest? What should manifest? What thought can I manifest at this time? Now you're going to see that there's just going to be manifestation that's occurring, because that's what happens, right? So it springs out, sort of like asking the ocean to not create waves, right? You're like, oh, well, that's what the ocean does. Great, exactly. But as we practice this and go to that place of awareness, from that place, that's the place that's been, there's a number of words that have been describing this place. And I mentioned them last time, and I have a few more added today. They are pure awareness, choiceless awareness, objectless awareness, the void, the empty vessel, the plane of possibility, the absolute potentiality, open presence, the infinite, dynamic stillness, the space of non-doing, timeless moment, the now, consciousness, divinity. You can see that there's a number of sort of words that describe this place. So imagine, right, that it is a timeless space that's totally infinite, right? And this is where um, all all objects emerge from, whether that's a thought, a perception, a sensation, a belief, an emotion, or whatnot. Right. So it's a different energy, meaning it's slightly more differentiated, but it's the same energy. So in essence, there's this realization that, oh, this thought is emerging from awareness, but it's all one energy. It's all one energy, right? Then, and this to me is sort of the really cool part, that I believe somebody may have actually mentioned that last week in their debrief, in that awareness is our common denominator, let's say. So awareness is present in everyone. The awareness that is aware of your thoughts, sensations, perceptions is the same awareness in you, in everybody. And so we all are on this same plane of possibility, this plane of potentiality, this void from which all of our experiences come from. And then how we perceive those experiences, like that thought, that has a lot to do with, let's say, our culture, our individual makeup, et cetera, et cetera. But from that place of awareness, it's all the same. It's all the same. It doesn't matter what our age is, what our skin color is. It just doesn't matter. So if Linda says, oh, I had a thought that was anxious, I can sort of be like, oh, I don't know how anxious was it? Was it really bad? How much did you know? But if she says, for instance, oh, I was resting in awareness, I go, oh, nice. And in fact, right, there's some people who believe that, for instance, all language is a manifestation from the absolute. And so you're already removing the quality, let's say, of the absolute by having to describe it in language, because it's already a differentiation from the totality. How can you explain the totality of everything with words? Because every word has a quality that differentiates it. Right? You might use words that are not like trying to describe, it's saying words like limitless, timeless, whatever it might be. So in this practice, this is the practice then of resting our awareness, or resting our attention, resting in pure awareness, resting in the plane of absolute possibility. And as you're resting in that, opening up your awareness, and it might be easier, for instance, to do this with people who you're really close with, loved ones, but you may actually find it fairly easy to do it to people in this group, and to all other people, to everyone at large. As you are resting your attention in that plane of possibility, you might feel, for instance, an expansion of your energy. You might feel a quality of timelessness. With your intention, you can expand your awareness even further and allow it to be, just drop any walls that are present, even in the sphere of your own awareness, and allow yourself to essentially connect to all awareness everywhere. All right. And this might be easier for some people to sort of imagine another person, like somebody you're really close with, but that might not be necessary. It might just be that as you're in that plane and you simply open up, you notice, you recognize this pure connection at this level of pure potentiality. And you rest in that. While, right, this is the important part, you're fully embodied. While you fully feel your body, while you fully feel your sensations, you're still noticing yourself breathing. You're still noticing yourself sitting on your couch, feeling your feet on the floor. Okay. Now do you see why the practices are so important of just, for instance, noticing like two sensations simultaneously, like what you hear and what you see? Now you're taking pure awareness with connection to all awareness while you're fully embodied. So you have the absolute vertical plane of your body connecting with the horizontal plane of pure potentiality, total, and you're not disassociating, you're not disembodied. You feel yourself breathing, so that you might have this sensation of, wow, I'm breathing. And there may actually be sort of a ping-ponging, like pure awareness, breathing, pure awareness, breathing, pure awareness, breathing in the body. Okay. Now, some people are like, oh, wow, pure awareness. And then they start to disassociate. This is also important to recognize, right? I don't want you to disassociate. I don't want you to be disembodied. It's not the practice. The practice is to be fully embodied. Okay. If you notice that, feel your feet on the floor. Feel yourself breathing. If your eyes are closed, you open your eyes. If you do feel discombobulated, if you do feel as if you're disassociated, you look around. You label the color of the wall that you're looking at. I see a green plant in front of me. All right. Feel your feet on the floor. Feet on the floor is really, it's a great one. Or I feel my hands. Okay, I feel my hands on the desk. Right. I know I'm in my living room. You can use sort of techniques like that to then really kind of come back if you feel like you have disembodied or disassociated. Right. But this is also a titration. Okay. So that's why you do session 2 first. So you learn, okay, here I am, right? I'm resting in pure awareness. There's still a sort of a what might seem like a locality because you are still sort of imagining, the pure awareness being part of your body. And then that gets dropped. And there's this connection to pure awareness everywhere, throughout all living beings. And if that gets too much, right, if you do that and you're like, oh, wow, I'm noticing these walls that were created by what? By just our minds have started to crumble, but that feels a little scary. Breathe. Go back to your resource, right? And that's then a titration that occurs. Okay. So it's not all of a sudden, you can get the experience as if you are being stretched like a little Gumby or something like that. Okay. We don't want to stretch you, right? While you're disembodied. We can stretch while you feel your feet on the floor, while you feel your butt on the chair, while you feel yourself breathing. And there can be this absolute, incredible, beautiful expansion, holism, contraction, almost as if awareness is breathing through everyone. Okay. And you are feeling it all without getting too mental about it, without getting too emotional about it. Every emotion that might arise, you allow it to be free, you allow it to move. Any sensation is observed in awareness as you're connecting to all awareness. And you notice your mind and heart sinking. You notice your mind, heart, and body being all one and having this experience together. All right. And the important part is, and a lot of people sort of talk about, it's sort of like the mind. This is where we really want to connect the powers of the mind with the felt sense in the body, the felt sense of your heart. And so bring in the felt sense of, what does your heart feel like? You might even ask yourself, wow, in this, what does my heart feel like? What does my body feel like? What are the felt senses in my body of this experience in real time? Okay. Does that make sense? So it's very important that, do you see how all the practices that we did up until now then help inform this one? Because this is about being okay with the thoughts and emotions and sensations that are appearing, being okay with resting in awareness and just noticing, oh wow, these thoughts are appearing, that there might be a separation that we place on them between, let's say, awareness and our attention. Although it's a veil, it's really the same thing. It's just a aspect of differentiation that's slightly different. Where does it emerge from? Where is all this experience emerging from? Resting in pure awareness, opening up, expanding the state, that awareness, to, with our intention, to connecting to all awarenesses, which is really just one awareness. But it's sort of like saying we're actually going down. It's sort of like one wave, right? One wave coming out of the ocean, and another wave, which was maybe 20 feet in front of it, coming out of the ocean, saying, hey, look at this. We're just manifestations. We're what appears to be two separate manifestations, but what is connecting us? The ocean, right? But if you're on top of the wave, all you see is the other peak of the wave. Now we're saying, okay, we go back to the ocean and we actually make this connection on the plane of the ocean level, not on the plane of the wave level, which is what we've been conditioned and taught to do. Okay. So here we are, right? We're born, we come out of the ocean. We're these separate entities, we're these separate, what seemingly separate manifestations, human beings. And now we're saying, oh, there's a commonality here. What if we drop, and it's same thing, it'd be like the wave saying, oh, let me drop into the ocean, take my energy and connect it to all waves that are manifesting simultaneously right now through awareness. Okay. While you're still a wave.